I was invited to be part of what is referred to now. I mean, it's the Corn Pound, and it's a unique kind of retail setting, which it started out as a retail setting for Saucetex Records, which is the owner of the property, Jeff Smith, wanted to start selling records that he produced and has assisted in promoting. And then also the operator of Flagship Records, which is another kind of hub at the place, has a huge collection of records. So he wanted to expand on the records and the music. Now they also do recordings. People practice music there. There's special practice music places. So it's very music oriented. So he wanted to bring in an element that wasn't so focused on music, maybe just a softer touch other than the music. And so he asked me if I would be willing to open up a small shop. It's fairly small. It's not a big operation. I've been kind of known throughout San Antonio for collecting and selling vintage clothing for probably over 10 years now, but more in a pop-up setting. So he knew that I had quite the collection. I'm often seen out, when I'm out wearing vintage clothing. And so it's kind of was natural for him to get in touch and ask me. In terms of when it all started, probably when I was 19 years old and went to college and started for the first time shopping at thrift stores because I didn't have any money. So that's where I did all my shopping. And I just had an affinity for it immediately. I wanted it, I liked the idea of wearing clothing as a creative outlet. So that was part of where that comes from. I guess I've always been creative, but, be able to get through college and do that was kind of fun. I wasn't selling back then, but I was definitely out there wearing it. Every 2 weeks or so I will completely change the look of the shop. In terms of display. So I'll take a look around and, think about things seasonally, holidays, just, depending on the weather, what kind of sparks, what would be interesting for people to look into, whether it's summer dresses or winter coats. I almost always bring in something to add to the shop, whether it's jewelry or something that I've picked up that I think would fit well into the shop in terms of like a dress or shirts or pants, whatever. And I'll work on whatever mending needs to be done. Sometimes I need to add a button or do some stitching on something, fix a pocket in a coat. I iron everything. Everything's washed before I bring it in. So I've got a lot to do. I mean, the time flies while I'm there. So meet and greet people that come in, even if they're coming into the Corn Pound, not to see my shop, we all consider ourselves part of the Corn Pound. And so I give kind of a tour of the different shops that we have. There's a VHS store as well, which is kind of funky and adds to kind of the funkiness of the spirit of that. Introduce people over to the record store and other things that are going on. We're there till 8 o'clock at night, and we're just always prepared to have people come in and take a look around, and of course assist customers, and like to give people ideas on things that they might not see themselves in, and make suggestions. And they oftentimes are shocked at something that they wouldn't have thought of for themselves and end up like. So that's kind of fun. So right now the school bus is on the property, and so we've all been very busy, but we're going to start taking out the seats and fastening in some what do you call it, the where we can start hanging products, and getting shelving in, and for display case, that kind of thing, place to have our cash register and that sort of thing. And it's really nice. I mean, it's a beautiful bus. I don't have any problem with it. It's just going to take a lot less work to get it up and going. I'm not sure when. I just met with Jeff And he's a very busy man, but he knows that I'm meeting with you.
Mhm.
And one of the ideas that we talked about when I was telling him about this, is that maybe what I can capture is that process, do some, some videos of us working on it and kind of the progress. I'm really excited because about the jewelry end of this. This is a whole new thing. We had some jewelry before, but I'm thinking that that's something that would be a smart move in terms of just making things available. People come into a shop and they want to buy something, they want to go shopping. And it's sad and disappointing when they leave the shop because they couldn't find something that fit them. So the thing about the jewelry is that it can fit anybody. And as long as you put out enough variety and enough different things, they're bound to find something that they can take home with them if they want to. So I'm excited about that, not, for the potential customers that we'll have. And for myself, it's kind of added a new, just kind of interesting creative outlet in terms of keeping my eye out for jewelry. When people walk in the shop, they immediately are excited and happy. It's like going to a museum or being in a place that is just exciting and fun. So immediately you get this sensation that it's fun. They perk up, they smile, they're like, oh my gosh, I love this. They have so much fun looking at everything. So it's definitely the fun and bringing kind of a cheeky, exuberance to clothes shopping. Whereas if you go into just a regular clothing store, it's kind of like, there's 20 of sweaters of the same color, all different sizes. So it's always like, well, what's next, and what's next, and what next? So each piece of clothing is unique and different. So just the process of perusing the stores is fun and entertaining in and of itself. I like the idea of giving people the tools to dress creatively. I advocate it. I do it myself. One of my favorite things is to wear long dresses. And I do it all the time. I'll go out, if I'm, even, if I go to a grungy bar, I'll wear a long dress. And nobody minds, you got all these people dressed in leather coats and black, and I'll show up in a flowery. So I think it's important to model, and I say that when I say model, I don't mean, that's interesting, model what my, and advocate for this style. It takes a certain amount of bravery, to get out there and display it publicly if you're wearing it.